Ford High School Weekly is brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Oklahoma.
Welcome to Ford High School Weekly. I'm your host, Deanna Mate. On this week's show, we have an interesting guest on our hands this evening. So we decided to do something different. Guys, there's so many people that are involved in high school football in so many different aspects. And one of the people that we wanted to talk with is somebody who officiates the game. That's right. Kayla Fourkiller is here with the OSAA to tell us about how it goes officiating high school football. Kayla, how's it going?
It's going well. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, no problem at all. Appreciate you for joining us. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. I mean, I don't have a whistle or anything, or I'd blow it for us to get the game started. But so how did you get involved in athletics from an early age? Let's start from there.
I just grew up in athletics, playing athletics my whole life, and I feel like it's a big part of like young children's lives and stuff. And so I always grew up playing athletics, and I always wanted to continue my life being involved in athletics, and that's why I kind of got a degree in education. I became a high school girls basketball coach, so just kind of right out of college, just continued to be a part of being in high school athletics.
All right, so let's go ahead and get the questions out of the way. So what sports did you play growing up?
I played girls basketball, of course, and then ran track as well. Tried softball for a year or so. Didn't choose to continue with that. But I also was a football manager for the high school football team. So I really enjoyed that as well. And I kind of think that's what pushed me into getting into officiating a little bit, just growing up and loving the game of football. And it's one way I can be involved with football.
If you played basketball and you ran track and you tried softball, which one of those sports was, I mean, you said you're a basketball coach now, but I won't tell the kids. Which one of those sports was your actual favorite?
Football.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Vian, Oklahoma, so it's a real football town. Football was kind of just like, I don't know, growing up, it was kind of like football was the main sport, and it was just a football town, and so you kind of just grew up accustomed to that, I think, and I loved it. From like kindergarten, I remember liking the Dallas Cowboys, and just always loved the game of football, and so I think that would be my favorite sport.
So what about the sport of football really made you want to try to kind of be a part of the team back in your high school days?
I just think I enjoy the competitiveness of it, and just the game. I mean, and I kind of just enjoyed being around it. I always thought that like I could play it, but I never got that opportunity.
So do you have any like funny or cool stories of back in your days in high school of being the manager for the football team?
We had a good time. My two best friends and I were the managers, so we had a really great time.
So with that being said, what was kind of like your favorite part of, high school athletics growing up?
I feel like my coaches, they had a huge role in my life and who I am today. They just kind of molded me, I think, to be a better person and to always work hard. And I always appreciate them for that. And that was kind of one reason I wanted to get into coaching, was to give back to young kids what they gave to me.
So what's the most difficult part about, coaching at this day and age?
I enjoy it. I don't really see, anything just too difficult. I enjoy getting to meet all the different kids and build relationships with them, and enjoy coaching. I'm passionate about it. It's my passion. So.
Well, we always got to have our passions, don't we?
Yes, sir.
So when we come back, we'll talk to Kayla a little bit more about being an official here in the state of Oklahoma and much more. We'll be right back here on Ford High School Weekly. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. We're talking with Kayla Fourkiller. Kayla, now where is the school? I haven't asked you this, but where is the school that you're currently coaching at right now?
Southmoore High School, Moore, Oklahoma.
So the SaberCats.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been coaching over there?
This is my second year.
So what's the whole, I know basketball season's about to come underway. So how does that have your time busy with officiating and all that good stuff?
It actually works out really well because football's kind of winding down, and basketball's picking up about the same time. And I've been fortunate enough to get like close games. So in this area where I can get to still practice and get to make it to the games as well.
So let's go ahead and dive into that now. I mean, you talked about your love of football and how it was one of the sports that you really enjoyed growing up, and it kind of led you into officiating, kind of to stay close to the game. But you are a basketball coach, so how did you initially get involved in being an official for the, Oklahoma high school football?
Well, how I actually got involved is my husband has been an official for 15 years. He started officiating in the NAIA, and while he was doing that, I kind of became like their penalty recorder. And so I got to go on the sidelines and like record the penalties and hang out with the crew and stuff. So that kind of drew my interest, and I was like, I think I could do this. And I seen some females while we were out and on the road trips and stuff, and he had some on his crews, different crews that he would get with the NAIA. So I thought, I feel like I could do this. And so he had to take a break for a couple of years due to being sick, and then he got back in it. So when he decided to get back in, I thought, I'm going to try it and give it a shot, and I felt like I could do it. So that's really what got me into officiating.
So it's a family business over there, huh?
Yes, sir.
So what was the training process like? It looks like you had a little bit of advantage with somebody to help you at home, but what was the whole training process like to be an official?
Well, we had to go to some meetings and rookie meetings and just basically like reading the books and trying to figure out the mechanics and of course the rules and stuff. But it's just, as well as he helped me a lot, so I'll put it that way. But just finding time to do all that and just really buckling down, and it's something that I want to become really good at. So I've really focused at becoming good at it and trying to do my best to learn and be the best that I can be at it.
So I'm aware that some officials officiate multiple sports. Is it just football for you, especially since the whole basketball thing comes into play?
Yeah, it's just football. Just gonna be football. So
All right, so if that's the case, let's hear it. I've been on the sideline for so many games as a player, as a sideline reporter, and I know some of the banter that goes on between the coaches and some of the officials. So, do you got any good stories for us, or any experiences that kind of taught you a lot?
I've learned a lot here. It's mainly just kind of like. I think coaching has helped me because I know how like I want officials to be towards me, and so I kind of use that while I'm out there on the field. I listen and I give them, the opportunity to just say what they want to say and how they feel, because in the same sense, it means something to them, just like as a basketball game means something to me.
What's the most enjoyable part about officiating for you?
Really, it's just being out there like on the field, and it's kind of like, when you're out there, it's just, it's like almost like you're a part of the game, but then also it's just kind of like you're not thinking about anything else but that. And so it's kind of like a nice, I wouldn't say hobby because it's like a job too, but it's something that kind of you enjoy. And so that's what I like about it. And just being out there, being involved in the game and seeing it you have the best seat in the house. You're right there on the field, and seeing the kids, compete. I enjoy that as well.
Now, this is something I've always wanted to ask an official ever since I've been playing since the third grade. The referees and the officials, they wear those little bands on their fingers and everything. What do those mean, and why do they wear them?
It's a down indicator, so it's for the downs to keep up with it so you don't lose track.
Really? So do they have to adjust it every play?
Every play you have to adjust it. So yeah.
My mind is blown right now. Like, I had no idea. Well, when we come back, hopefully we learn some more things about Kayla and being official in Oklahoma high school football, right here on Forward High School Weekly. Welcome back to Forward High School Weekly. We're talking with Kayla Fourkiller, the head coach of the Southmoore SaberCats and also an official for Oklahoma high school football here in the state of Oklahoma. Kayla, now it's not something that is common here in football and in the state of Oklahoma, but being a woman official, how is that something that is important to you?
I just feel like it's important for women to be involved, and the rate of that the women are moving up and getting to go to like the NCAA and the NFL, and that's really impressive to me. And I feel like that's just, I mean, amazing. It's amazing, and I hopefully that I can be a part of that one day. And I just feel like that women, I mean, the more you see it and this stuff, it's just exciting too for the world, well as like the little girls, like seeing you as a role model and knowing that they can be that too one day if they choose to be, and they can be involved. I mean, if they love football, then they can be involved in some way as well. So.
Have you ever had any interactions with young ladies at the game or maybe at your school that kind of mentioned that to you and kind of inspired by the things that you're doing?
Yes, sir. I actually, one of my first games, because I've been a mentor, like a mentor referee as well, or official as well. So I go with a high school crew on Fridays. And so one of my first games, a lady came up to me and said she had a few younger ladies. Like, I didn't know that like girls could be officials, and like they wanted to do it, you know, when they get older. So that made me feel like I was doing something, I mean, right, because I mean, if they want to do it, they should have the opportunity to be able to as well. So.
Are there ever any experiences where there's kind of negative stuff that happened because you are a female referee with the fans or maybe coaches?
I really haven't experienced it. I mean, I'm sure there has been, but for the most part, everyone's been really welcoming and really, I mean, thankful. And which there is a shortage of officials, and so I mean, I think people are just happy to have people out there to do it, and I feel like that I really have felt just real welcomed. And I sometimes think people think it's like kind of cool, you know, kind of neat. I've had junior high boys, like, you know, they said, hey, like, hi, Miss Official. And like, you know, like one little boy was like, you're my favorite official. So like, I mean, just things like that. It just makes it even more enjoyable. So.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you have a lot of support for what you want to do and even getting started with your husband and everything. But was there ever any time where you had a little bit of hesitation or just thought that maybe it's not a good idea for you to get involved in something like this?
I really haven't had any like second guessing, but sometimes when like my husband critiques me a lot, then I kind of start, you know, like, man, am I that bad at this? But you know, no, it's been really good. So, but that's about the only times I sometimes say, well, I must be horrible, but no,
That
it's
that's a
fun.
good point, and that leads to a good question now. I mean, I'm guessing you guys have to do your homework and you have to kinda prepare for games and you get graded out. So how is that kinda getting that critique or how does it involve? Like, how's it go?
Oh, well, he basically just watches like my mechanics, and like sometimes most of the time we're calling together, but sometimes like I'll call like junior high games and he'll just watch. So he'll critique my mechanics and then like ask me certain questions and make sure I'm watching that on the field as well, because we have like our little keys we're supposed to watch, and so stuff like that. But and then also I have our white hat, Tim Daughter. He kind of critiques me, makes sure that I'm like doing what I'm supposed to while I'm on the field, getting out of the way. That's one of the big um, keys that they want the like newer officials to learn, is to learn how to get out of the way, out of the play for safety reasons. So so they critique that as well. But it's been real fun, and I can take the critiquing. So.
So when you say watch your mechanics, what exactly do you mean by that? Like what kind of mechanics and techniques do referees have to have?
It's basically like, like your touchdown signals and dead balls and live ball signals, incomplete passes, and things like that. You just want them to look good and then at the right time. At first, I kind of struggled with killing the clock and the incomplete. Like I wouldn't get my hands up high enough. So I finally got that down, and but it's been really good and fun getting to learn all the different mechanics.
Well, Kayla, I know this year everybody's been talking about the official shortage and how they've had to alter some things, and they've made a strong push to get more people involved in the game. And if you could, speak to it and say, what would you give to the people a reason why they should get involved in the game and kind of help out and be an official as well?
I mean, I would just say, I mean, it's enjoyable, and also, I mean, there's reasons to do it. Just like I mean, you're kind of touching the lives of others, and that's one reason. I mean, I feel like I enjoy it a lot too, is because, like I said, I get to go see the young kids compete, and I feel like that it's something that is needed right now, and all the help is appreciated. And I feel like people do appreciate you, even though sometimes during the game situations it don't seem like it. But for the most part, the coaches, the fans, I mean, everyone appreciates officials, and I feel like people just would really enjoy it if they tried it. Definitely, if you love the game of football, it's a way to stay involved.
Well, we really do appreciate you for joining us here today and being a part of the game and allowing our young athletes to showcase what they can do on Thursday and Friday nights.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Next up, we'll talk about the early signing period with Michael Knight from Prep Red Zone when Ford High School Weekly continues. Welcome back to Ford High School Weekly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that time of the week once again, Michael Knight from Prep Red Zone is here with us. Early signing period in November for most of the sports outside of football took place here recently. What can you tell me about that?
Just about every sport that first Wednesday in November, you can officially sign with your college, as long as it's not football. Football, you still got to wait till December. You got to wait till the first Wednesday in February as well, if you're a football athlete. So we had this first signing period that happened in early November, and some of the notable guys were in boys basketball. You had Oklahoma State sign a couple guys that are some of the best players in the 2023 class, and it starts with Dell City center Brandon Garrison. He's been the number one prospect in that 2023 class for a while now, and he's been committed to the Cowboys for a bit, and he signed on the dotted line to play for Coach Boynton in Stillwater. And he wasn't the only one who signed with OSU. Broken Arrow shooter Connor Dow, who had an unbelievable offseason while playing with Team Griffin. He was a guy who kind of flew under the radar during his sophomore and junior years at Broken Arrow, but he had an unbelievable offseason. He's one of the best shooters in the state, and he earned an offer from OSU earlier this summer, and he immediately took it, committed to the Cowboys, and now he's signed to play in Stillwater. And then speaking of shooters and staying in the Tulsa area at Bixby, Parker Fredrickson, who was once committed to Oklahoma State, but he reopened his recruitment, and he eventually settled on Notre Dame. He signed with Notre Dame to play there. So you had some other guys that signed as well. Evan Barber from Westmore signed with UCO. Carter, I might butcher his name, Helmstad from Edmond Memorial. I just call him Carter. So apologies to his family, but he signed with Pittsburgh State. So you had some small schools that also got some signees as well. But it was a pretty good first opening signing period. A lot of those guys, especially in the 2023 class for boys basketball, they're still waiting for their opportunities and hoping to cash in after a good senior season.
So what's some of the advantages as far as for basketball and in all these other sports to kind of get that early signing period out of the way? I mean, you're talking about basketball players that haven't even started their season yet, so they are already signed and committed to universities. What's the advantages of getting that out of the way so early before the season even starts?
It's so different than football, and I'm so much more familiar with the football aspect of it. But now that I've been, I run the Prep Hoops site, which is owned by the same company, so I've been fully entrenched in basketball for the last year, a little over a year now. But basketball recruitment is so much different than football recruitment, where it's 12 months a year because there's always something. You have school ball from about October to March. And then as soon as school ball is over, you go right into AAU ball and travel ball, and you're going all over the country. And so these coaches are able to recruit these kids way earlier in basketball. And so having that early signing period, and I don't even know if they consider an early signing period like they do for football, where they consider the December signing period the early one. I think they just consider it signing period. When you talk about this period and the guys who signed, they're already established guys. There's going to be guys that have good years and get some opportunities in the next, 2 or 3 months. But the guys who signed on the first Wednesday in November, they were established guys. Like you didn't have to wait on Brandon Garrison or Parker Fredrickson or Connor Dowd. Like those guys were no doubt guys to end up at the next level.
Michael Knight, thank you so much for joining us this week. And where can people find you if they want to look out?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking basketball, so you can check us out, prephoops.com/Oklahoma. We have a bunch of team preview content going up right now throughout the month of October, throughout the month of November. Scrimmages are going on. Games are about to tip off all across the state, so you can check us out for basketball at prephoops.com. If you're still in the depths of football season, you can check us out at prepredzone.com for all of your playoff content, state championship content, and then postseason content once those gold balls are handed out in Edmond. So prephoops.com for basketball, prepredzone.com for football. We got you covered.
Remember, only the best in Oklahoma, like football official Kayla Fourkiller, and the one who introduced her to officiating, her husband, Will Fourkiller, make it to Ford High School Weekly. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Deanna Mata.
Ford High School Weekly has been brought to you by your Oklahoma Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Oklahoma.